Okay, so I've just come out of the closet and admitted that yes, I am a multi-tool addict as well as a knife addict. I admit it. I love them. But I also use them a lot. By the way, and this again is the Leatherman Juice S2 version, if you like a specific Leatherman multi-tool, I highly recommend you buy it now and put it in storage, because it seems to me as the years have gone by and I've watched Leatherman, their models are limited editions kind of. They'll change their styles and discontinue them. And if you don't believe me, go to their website, leatherman.com, and you can see the past models which are no longer being offered or manufactured, and they're bye-bye. So that's why I have several of this model, the Juice S2. Now, I'm not going to talk about the Juice again. I did that in the other video. Great compact, relatively lightweight multi-tool. However, at this weight, being 4.4 ounces, it does have limitations. There's certain things that this just cannot do. There's certain tools it cannot carry because of the weight restriction, because of the form factor that we've desired. For day-to-day use, great, but what if I want something more? Something more capable, something stronger, bigger, a lot more tool options. Yes, there's a whole bunch of cool multi-tools out there by all kinds of companies. They are good. My favorite, however, is the bigger brother to the S2, and that is the Leatherman Charge TI, or AL. The TI stands for titanium handled, like this version I have, or AL would be aluminum. They're basically identical except for the handle materials. And yes, basically identical in weight, which is about 8.4 ounces. That is a lot of multi-tool for 8.4 ounces. Definitely. Let's talk about specifics because we're going to run short on time. First off, the main blade. What a nicely shaped blade that is. To me, that is an ideal EDC blade right there, baby. Love it. And it locks into position. Unlike the S2, we've upgraded to a larger, more capable multi-tool, and we got locking tools to show off to everybody. Very useful. Won't fold on you. Outstanding. I love that blade shape, that Bowie / clip design with some belly here. Actually would be suitable for thrusting as well. And it's made of 154 cm steel, which I find to be very adequate. When I talk a lot about 154 cm, this is a lot of my experience right here is in the Charge TI. Great blade, holds an edge well, relatively rust resistant. I've never had it rust, although I will say I keep my blades very well lubricated with rim oil. What a great blade shape that is. It's perfectly sized for EDC tasks. Love it. Now, on the other side, we also have a serrated blade. This is also an excellent addition. Why? Because it can function as a rescue cutter. Notice the bevel tip on that for seatbelt cutting or rescuing of whatever you might need. It's not pointed, that it can slip under clothing. You could actually open up a jeans leg if you had a compound fracture. And I'm talking about, of course, the jeans, the clothing. We could get to the injury that way. This would be a great addition. I find the serrations rip very well. And like I've said in my other videos, if I'm going to have serrations, I want a full blade of serrations. Just a little bit of serrations down here don't do much for me. So for serrations to be functional, they need to be functioning like a saw. We need to be going back and forth like this blade is capable of. When we do that, we get tremendous cutting power. Therefore, this blade is very well suited for rescuing tasks. Also for rope and clothing, anything else sinewy you might need to cut. Great addition there. On the exterior of the blade, we also have our saw. I'll be honest, when I first got this, I said there is no way I'm ever going to use that saw on the Charge. I just won't use it. And guess what? I was wrong. Totally have used this saw. Why? Because I can get a clean cut on a limb, and don't ask me why. There's certain times I've needed to have a clean cut on a limb off a tree, and this has functioned very well. It will cut all the way up to its width very well. And I do find I have to clean it out, of course, with a toothbrush or something and re-oil it. You know how anal I am with my blades. Like taking care of them. I don't mind using them hard, but I always try to take care of them as well. And like all the exterior blades, this one locks. So yes, a saw can be very advantageous to have with you. That takes us to the file. And it's a typical file pattern on one side, supposedly diamond coated on the other. This is a very fine file, and it works good for fingernails, I find. and I've used this as well. It is on a scale 1 to 10, about maybe a 7. It's not the best file I've ever used. However, I have one and it works, and it's in my multi-tool, and that's huge. I guess this is like a hook to remove a fishing hook or something from a fish. Never use that. Probably never will. So those are our exterior blades on the Charge. That takes us to our full-size pliers, and these rock. Again, Leatherman just knows how to make pliers, and they do an outstanding job of it. There's our hard wire cutter, and yes, it's not hokey and it's not hype. That actually works. I've cut some nails with that sucker, big nails, and it works, and it hasn't been damaged in the process. And there's our regular wire cutters in the middle of the jaw. So, and of course the serration for bolts, round bar stock if we need to turn it, and typical serrations of a sharp-nosed plier. Great pliers. They're very precise. They close precisely. There's no gaps in them. By the way, if you're looking at multi-tools, look at that. How do they close? If there's a gap right here in your multi-tool, the preciseness of that multi-tool sucks. You won't see that with Leathermans. At least I have never seen it, and I own about 7 of them, maybe 8. I don't lost track. So let's get into the interior of this, and this is where the Charge TTi really shines, is the bit capability, the removable bits. Right now I have a hex head in there. You can put Torx drivers in there. You can get a bit kit from Leatherman, which I have, for modest cost, and this isn't it. This is just a representation of the kind of bits that you can have. I mean, you can go anywhere with a hex driver, Phillips driver. You can get Torx driver, all kinds of blades. It just rocks. Now what you see is my favorite selection, the ones I use most. Yours may be different, but they are really excellent. Slide in and out easily, and they don't pop out when you use them too, which is also advantageous. Great driver, and it locks into position. Then that takes us to our can opener. Kind of an old-fashioned can opener. My favorite can opening design, to be honest with you, is the Swiss Army. I love that one, specifically Victorinox. Love it. Let's flip over to the other side. Always, as usual, running out of time. Large, flat blade screwdriver. And to me, that's not just a flat-bladed screwdriver. It's an everything blade. I wouldn't, and I haven't really used it as a pry bar, but it is very useful in, I shouldn't say I haven't used it. I have, but not to exceed its capabilities. I would never like to try to open a car door with this. That would not be wise. However, it functions in a lot of other ways. Always like to have a big, flat screwdriver whenever possible. Alright, this is something else I absolutely love about the Charge TTi. It has a mini jeweler's screwdriver. Phillips on one end, flat bladed on the other, and I use this all the time. Very effective, wonderful. Every multi-tool of this weight category should have that. Now we come to the scissors, also excellent. I love these scissors. They are small, however, and as you saw in my Leatherman Juice S2 video, those ones are bigger than this. However, as small as these are, at least we have a pair, and there's a lot of large multi-tools that dispense with the scissors altogether. There aren't any to be had, and I have found that these, as small as they are, cut ferociously. They're very effective. So yeah, I would like to see them bigger, but something has to give in this design, because to make room for the pliers, the exterior blades, and the size of those exterior blades, we're not going to have everything. Okay, so that's the Charge, and as usual, running out of time. I wanted to show you guys one last thing, and that is this limited edition Cabela's Charge in camo. Same exact one, except it's an EOD version. What does that mean? It has a crimping capability at the end, supposedly for blasting caps. No, I don't anticipate using that, but I could crimp electrical wires with it. Haven't yet, but I could. And this is in black and oxide, or black and finish. Beautiful. Same, and this is an S30V blade in this version, so an even better steel than 154 cm. So that is the wonderful and outstandingly designed Leatherman Charge series. If you are willing to carry extra weight, you absolutely cannot beat this. Great multi-tool.